A quick look at the Bible lets us know that the procedure we know as quarantine was much more ancient than we might assume. The Book of Leviticus, written around 700 BCE or earlier, described how people infected with Tzaraath, a skin disease, should be separated from those who were not infected. Was this isolation medical in nature though, or were they just being prejudiced against the people they found unclean? Let us look instead to when we were sure it was medical in nature. Islam also recommended quarantine. Prophet Muhammad said that those with a contagious disease should be kept away from those who are healthy. Early Islamic history had these implementations of mandatory hospital quarantine. There was the first hospital in Damascus, which was built by Umayyad Caliph Ul-Walid I back in 706 to 707. Patients infected with leprosy were ordered to be isolated in this hospital. We now know that the practice of isolation has been going on since ancient times. But where did the word quarantine come from? A document from 1377 reveals when this might have happened. Before entering the city-state of Ragusa in Dalmatia, now Dubrovnik in Croatia, visitors in ships, the usual suspects of spreading plagues, must spend 30 days, or quarantena in Italian, in a separate zone. They were waiting to see if the visitors would develop symptoms. These zones were originally islands nearby. They would come to be known as the Lazaretos of Dubrovnik. Black Death was at its height during this century. The plague killed a few thousand citizens of Dubrovnik back in 1348, pushing them to make this decision. Then, in 1448, Venice extended the stay to 40 days, quarantena, or 40 giorni in Italian. This was where the word quarantine came from. Why 40 though? Perhaps because Christ fasted in the desert for 40 days. Perhaps because ancient Greek doctrine of critical days declared that contagious disease develops within 40 days after exposure. But according to current estimates though, the bubonic plague that caused the Black Death had a 37-day period from infection to death, so our medieval friends might have actually been close. Quarantine eventually became the standard procedure in times of contagious diseases, in Europe, then eventually to the entire world. We now know more about the nature and mechanisms of infectious diseases, but there's still a lot more to know. In the case of quarantines, let us hope that it's always going to be medical in nature, and that would never go back to mere divisions between the clean and unclean.